Hey guys, okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go over how to load a roll of 120 film, which is what I've got in my hand here. It's called roll film. It's considered medium format. It can be taken in by different cameras in like a 6x9, 6x I think 14, like for a panoramic camera, 6x7, 6x6, which is obviously a square, and 6x4.5, which is commonly referred to as 645. That's the ones that I'm aware of anyway. It's as you can see, it's a good size roll of film. This particular roll kind of got messed up because I dropped my beloved camera, my Voigtlander Bessa 2. I did more than drop it. Okay, it flew off of the trunk of my car. I put it on the trunk, forgot it was there. I was getting my bicycle off of the rack, and that Voigtlander, when I opened up the trunk, it took a pretty nasty fall, easily 6 feet onto the concrete. So I sent it back to Jurgen Krekel, who's a wonderful man that sells these cameras and refurbishes them, CLAs them on eBay. And I've bought a couple of cameras from him. He's really good. Okay, so back to this. As you can see here, it says exposed, right? They come wrapped like this, new. And I'll go ahead and open this one, and just to kind of show you what it looked like before it's exposed. These are both rolls of Portra. This one obviously has not been exposed. It doesn't say not exposed, but it's just, it's yellow. The yellow label showing. And once you reach the end of the spool, it's not like 35 millimeter where you rewind it back into the spool. It just goes from one side of the camera picture and then it's wound into the other side. So therefore, this, once it's exposed, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so I've got here the Paterson tank. Okay, this is the top. This is the center spool that I'll show you what that does to keep the tank light tight. And this is the spool, the take-up spool. Now these things are pretty cool. If you put them together like this, you can see they're the proper width for 35 millimeter. If you take them apart like that, spread them out a little bit, and kind of find the notch. There you go. Now it's set up for 120 film. Same spool, or same reel, same take-up reel. This is the spool right here. Okay, so you put the spool in the middle, goes inside the tank. On top of the, the film would be wound onto here, and you can see it's got like grooves, and it's got these two ball bearings, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that properly. But you notice these two ball bearings here, they kind of facilitate the ratcheting action. When you get the film, what you do first, you line up these two notches here, make sure these are together, even. You roll the film to here, and then you just start this ratcheting action, and and then eventually it makes its way onto there, and it goes inside here. And if you notice, the center tube there lines up with this funnel, with this part of the funnel right here inside the tank. When it goes in, what happens is these two guys kind of come together inside the tank. Okay, and then you close that till it clicks, and it's light tight, so you can pour your chemicals inside there, right, while you in regular room light, daylight, what have you. But obviously, since the film cannot be exposed to light, otherwise it'll be ruined, you've got to do all of this inside this. Okay, this is a changing bag, dark bag, film bag, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the arms go in here. I'll show you this. Okay. So you put your arms in there, right? Knock this stuff over. And you know, you've got all your stuff inside here. See, there's a dual zipper system. You see how there's 2 zippers there? There's an inner bag. You put your stuff in there, zip it, and then there's the outer zipper just to ensure that it's completely light tight. And then your arms go in through here, and there's elastic here to keep light from leaking in where your arms are going in. So anyway, it takes a little practice, especially with the 120 film. 35 millimeters a little bit easier, but in order to get all this stuff in there, I'm going to show you how it works. This roll was ruined when my camera took a flight, so I have the unique opportunity, because I'll never waste film like that. So I got the unique opportunity to show you guys how this works in daylight. Okay, so here it is. All right, so again, remember, this is all happening inside the changing bag, I think it's called. All right, so you kind of have to commit to memory, muscle memory, how all this stuff works, or how all the pieces are. But I can show you some tips. Okay, first off, unless you're going to take another roll, don't ever take this out of your camera. Don't ever take this roll out of your camera. And the reason I say that is because sometimes it might loosen up before you get a chance to put that label on there, the sticky label that kind of holds it in place. And that actually happened to me not very recently, where I didn't, after exposing the roll, I didn't put the label on there, and the film was kind of like, it was wound on there kind of loosely. Okay, now just to show you a little bit about this stuff here. Okay, this is just a backing paper, and as you're gonna see, there's the film. Okay, so you see how the film is you do some winding as you look through the camera, or different. There's so many different kinds of camera. It's done different ways. But what happens first is you go past this paper, and then you'll at some point get to where the actual film is. All right. So what I do in that changing bag, I'll get rid of this. Okay, because this just kind of gets in the way, and sometimes it can mess up your get caught up in your spool. So once I feel that film is in there, in the dark, in the changing bag, I just tear this away. You don't need it. All right. And furthermore, I'll take this, and you're good for the first few inches of the roll. You're not going to hurt anything, but I'll do that, and this has helped tremendously. Okay, if you can kind of take that severe curve out of that part of it, that'll help you a lot. So now you see how it's sitting straight now, versus how curly it was. When it's that curly, it's really hard to do anything with it, to load it onto the reel. Okay, but take care to not do any more than about this, or maybe this much more. Okay, may say like the first 5 or 6 inches, I would try to avoid touching that. So anyway, I rolled it back, lined up the 2 notches there. See that? And this is so easy in the daylight. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to get past this little ball bearing. Let me try to put it in there again. Okay, you see the little ball bearings there? I guess you can see that right there. And there's one on each side. Line up these 2 notches, make sure they're in the same position. Slide the film in there until it hits the notches. Okay, and now it's just simply a matter of starting the ratchet action. And you see, as you ratchet, let me see if I can show you this way, it's starting to go into the take up spool. Okay, and it happens pretty quickly. 120 film isn't that long. You see, this is the end already. Okay, so taking care not to touch any of this. What I do here, once you feel that there's nothing left of the film itself, see where these two are kind of taped together. Just take that apart. And again, you're good on this side here. The last frame is probably right around there somewhere. And then you want to take this off. You don't want the tape messing up your chemicals. You take the tape off there. And beyond that, you just finish. And one thing I'll mention too, when you're doing the ratcheting, try to keep your thumbs just below the ratchet, because that'll keep them from jumping over the little notch there. Okay, so that's basically it. The film is wound, goes in the tank, in the Paterson tank. Okay, and just so you know, this is a pretty good system. This is the system 3, I think it's called. You can actually have a second roll, a second 120 roll, or you can have, I believe you can do 3 35mm rolls, one 120 and 135, or you can do 2 120 rolls. So it's a good system. If you take a lot of film photos like I do. All right, so it goes in there. This guy, the funnel, goes on top. Always make sure that this is like this. Okay, you don't want to have it like that. Okay, because then you're gonna lose your light tightness. You want to always make sure that the tube is up top there, and that will marry up with it. The funnel will. Click it, and just as a safeguard, I put the top on, and the top is more to keep chemicals from spilling out. But if you just want to be extra safe, go ahead and put the top on. But you're okay, because this is completely light tight. As long as you remember 2 things: the tube inside and the funnel, making sure it clicks. Once you've done that, you're 100% light tight. You're ready to go. Okay.